Hello everyone, this is your subject Practical Research 2. So today I'm going to discuss to you the meaning of inquiry, importance of inquiry, the application of inquiry, outcomes of inquiry, what is research, the aims of research, and sources of research topic. So let us start our first discussion with the topic, the meaning of inquiry. So for the information of everyone, this is the module 1 for the subject Practical Research 2, quarter 1. So ano ba ang meaning ng inquiry? What is the definition of inquiry? It is common belief that nobody can have or nobody has the monopoly of all the knowledge and information that exists in the world. In that statement, it means na walang isang tao na nakakaalam ng lahat ng bagay sa mundo. Or walang isang taong alam niya ang lahat ng bagay, lahat ng impormasyon na nag-e-exist dito sa mundo. Walang ganon. In man's day-to-day existence, inquiry is necessary to survive the growing demands of this age of information and technology. So sinasabi dito that inquiry is an important way to grow information and technology. Inquiry is defined as the quest for truth, information, or knowledge through questioning. So inquiry is ay pagtatanong ng mga impormasyon, mga bagay-bagay para maintindihan and maka-add ng information. That is inquiry. The process of inquiry follows the development stage of a person which proceeds from womb to tomb. So nagsisimula ang pag-i-inquiry or ang pagtatanong mula pagpapanganak hanggang sa mamatay. That is the meaning of womb to tomb. Inquiry begins when a person is born. An infant starts to grasp his surroundings and gathers information and data using the human senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. So, nagsisimula tayong makasagap ng mga information and knowledge from our birth. Kaya nga, from simple reflexes, nagkakaroon na ng mumbling ang isang baby, di ba? Because of information gathering. Nakakagather siya ng information from his surroundings. The progression of inquiry continues as the child grows up, develops, and perceives his own environment. He forms his own concepts and interpretations and creates his own meaning based on a given stimulus. So from reflexes, because of the surroundings, at sa mga nalalaman niya from his surroundings, nagdadagdagan yung information na alam niya or nagkakaroon siya ng kaalaman. And from that kaalaman, nagpo-progress ang kanyang intellectual capacity, di ba? Nagde-develop siya. Kaya, mas naiintindihan niya ang kanyang kapaligiran. An individual makes sense of the world around him by inquiry. So, di ba? Tayo din nagtatanong tayo. Kahit na matanda na tayo, nagtatanong pa rin tayo. Bakit? To understand what's happening in our surroundings. At times, the individual does not even reflect upon its process. This procedure goes on until the person dies. Inquiry denotes participation that leads to acceptance. Involvement in the learning process leads to mastery of skills and attitudes, which are necessary in the search for answers to questions. So, the participation is the individual, the person itself. Nagpa-participate ka, the process is the inquiry, and the ending is the acceptance. Nagtatanong ka, and ina-accept mo yung sagot sa iyong inquiry, sa tanong. That's how learning happens. Pero pag nagtatanong ka and you don't accept the answers that are given to you, walang learning na mangyayari, di ba? Because you're not accepting the answers from those inquiries. Inquiry is also important in the construction of new knowledge and resolution of problems and issues. So we add knowledge and information to ourselves because of inquiry, pagtatanong, and pagiging curious. Now let's go to the importance of inquiry. Ano ba ang kahalagahan? Bukod sa mga nabanggit ko, ano ba ang mga importance of inquiry? Today's generation of people are very overwhelmed by the so-called information revolution. Data flood the internet, which makes information easily accessible and readily available to researchers. However, this data and information could change every single minute. Thus, memorization of facts is no longer encouraged at present. More than simply memorizing, an understanding on how data and information may be stored and used productively is man's greatest challenge today. The learner must go beyond information accumulation and move forward the application of useful and relevant knowledge. So, aside from sa mga nabanggit kong mga importance of inquiry that was found in the meaning of inquiry, sa taas ng module, So because there are a lot of inquiries that's happening right now because of information revolution and the data is overload on the internet, you don't need to memorize things. You don't need to memorize the answers to each inquiry. So, hindi mo kailangang i-memorize ang mga sagot sa mga bawat tanong. Ano gagawin natin? We just need to understand the answers or the respondent or the responses from those inquiries because there are a lot of information that's available right now. Memorizing is not a practical one. Understanding is the most efficient one because if you understand things, you can explain it to other people. For example, it is not enough that the government agencies collect the data of the disaster-stricken province affected by the typhoon. The concerned government officials must be able to translate how this data could be utilized to address the needs of the affected family. This way, information becomes an aid in itself. So if the government will release the raw data of the research that they did, will the normal people understand the data? Di ba hindi? That's why they translate it into layman's terms. Right? Right. Inquiry is not so much seeking the right answer because often there is none, but rather seeking appropriate resolutions to questions and issues. For educators, inquiry implies emphasis on the development of inquiry skills and the nurturing of inquiring attitudes or habits of mind that will enable individuals to continue the quest of knowledge throughout life. So, inquiry, according to X-Line 2004, is not seeking for the right answer, but rather seeking for the solution for the certain question or issue. The area content is only a means to an end and not the end in itself. The knowledge foundation for the different subject areas is constantly enlarging and changing. No one can ever learn all the knowledge in the universe, but everyone can better develop their skills and nurture the inquiring attitudes necessary to continue the generation and examination of knowledge throughout their life. So, di ba, ang dami-daming subjects sa tinuturo. At aanin yun, di ba? Kumuha ka lang ng kailangan mo. Because there are a lot of things that you can get from different subjects, di ba? So, balikan natin yung mga naging subject natin yung high school tayo, yung LM, di ba? We use it in our daily life. So, yeah. Therefore, inquiry is important in the generation and transmission of knowledge. This is essential because the source of knowledge is constantly increasing. Inquiry also helps develop higher order information literacy and critical thinking skills. For modern education, the skills and the ability to carry on learning to the next higher level should be the most important outcome. So, ang inquiry ay napaka-importanteng gawain natin as an adult. Kasi mas natututo tayo sa mga bagay-bagay na nasa paligid natin. Mas naiintindihan natin kung bakit tumatakbo sa ganitong sitwasyon ang mga bagay-bagay. Kung bakit may pandemic, kung bakit tayo may senior high school, kung bakit tayo nag-online class. So, because of inquiry, we understand things very well. Now, proceed to that application of inquiry. Inquiry learning can be applied to all disciplines and all facets of life. Learning is a continuous process. A person never stops learning while he lives. So a while ago, we encountered the term from home to home, which is true, di ba? That I said a while ago. Individuals have different perspectives in viewing the world. Such views could include the artistic, scientific, historic, economic, and other viewpoints. While disciplines should interconnect. While disciplines should interconnect with one another, inquiry learning includes the application of certain specific ground rules that safeguards the integrity of various disciplines and their world views. Nalalaman natin ang mga iba't ibang concepts from different things, diba? And pwede natin yung i-apply sa buhay natin. Pwede tayong mag-open ng ideas from those fields and many other things. So kapag nagtatanong tayo, mas naiintindihan natin ang mga bagay sa pagsasabayo and mas nakaka-connect tayo sa mga nangyayari sa paligid natin. Outcomes of inquiry. A practical knowledge about the world should be an important outcome of inquiry. So, let's emphasize this term. A practical knowledge about the world should be an important outcome of inquiry. Yung naiintindihan mo kung bakit nangyayari ang mga bagay-bagay dito sa mundo ay isang gandang outcome of inquiry. Naiintindihan na natin, diba? The way the world is organized, how it changes, and how people interrelate and communicate about the world they live in. There are important concepts, issues, and questions that people will face throughout their lives. Inquiry provides individuals with different ways of viewing the world, communicating about it, and successfully coping with the questions and issues of everyday life. It is for this reason that the school should provide a relevant and collective framework for effective learning. Questioning and searching for answers are extremely important part of inquiry, aided by a conceptual framework for learning. Students should not be focused only on content as the ultimate outcome of learning. Well-designed inquiry learning activities and interactions should be established in a conceptual context so as to help students accumulate knowledge as they advance in age. Inquiry, therefore, should be about a greater understanding of the world we live in. So as I have said a while ago, inquiry helps us to understand our world right now, right? So let us now proceed to research.